Playing a beautiful afternoon game here in Rogers Center. Boston Red Sox were shut out for the first time this year, 7-0 last night. Aaron Sanchez, Aaron Mook, and Steve Delabar closed it out. Let's take a look at the lineup for Boston. Mookie Betts right at the top of the order. He's got a 6-game hit streak, and he's been swinging a hot bat. 7 for his last 24 with 6 extra base hits, 3 home runs, and 3 doubles. And down in the 8th spot, youngster Xander Bogaerts at shortstop against Hutchinson. He's hit very well, 5 for 10 with an OPS of 1.100. 2 youngsters in their lineup having a lot of success with the bat early on.
Well, for the Blue Jays, is 24-year-old right-hander Drew Hutchinson making his 7th start of the season. It's his 2nd against Boston this year. He pitched at Fenway Park on April 28th. Entered the 5th inning with a 9-5 lead. However, he left after loading the bases. Toronto would go on to win that game 11-8, but 4 starts now for Hutchinson where he's gone less than 5 innings.
Defensively in the outfield, good to see Michael Saunders back in left field. His knee is better, and he's back out there starting in left. Kelvin Pillar, Chris Colabello in center and right. On the infield, Josh Donaldson, Ryan Goins had quite a game last night defensively. Devin Travis is the second baseman. Encarnacion still over at first, and the catcher is Russell Martin. He'll handle Drew Hutchinson this afternoon.
Saunders has been out of the lineup since last Sunday at Cleveland. He had some complications from that knee surgery, some inflammation. He had some fluid drained this week as well as a cortisone shot, so he should be good to go today.
Drew Hutchinson will face a right-handed hitting Mookie Betts to start the game off. Here's the first pitch of the ball game, and it's in there for a strike, and we are underway. Mookie Betts last night, to extend his hit streak, got a single in the 8th inning. 1 for 4 on the night. Good start for Hutchinson as he pounds that down and away corner. That slider in the dirt. Hutchinson has really had problems with right-handed hitters this season. They've hit 400 against him, 16 for 40. Given up 3 home runs to right-handed batters.
Well, he has had trouble with the righties. He has to establish that fastball away like we have seen with the first 2 pitches to Betts.
Pulled that one down and away. It's 2-2.
Drew's slider has been a little inconsistent too. A couple of starts ago we saw a real sweepy slider, a little more side-to-side action. Those are the ones that hitters can identify early and lay off. He wants that depth going straight down.
All the way back to a full count now, 3-2. Nelson Pedroia is on deck. Line to the shortstop, Goins. Mookie Betts is retired. Well, we mentioned the problems he's had with the right-handed batters, and it's quite a different story than last season.
Well, it all starts with fastball command for Drew, and he'll be the first one to tell you that if you cannot command the fastball, it's hard to do anything with the slider and the changeup. And like we saw those first 2 pitches to Betts, that's where he needs to be. The slider he threw had that depth. He has just been very inconsistent this year, and right-handers have been jumping on his mistakes.
He jumps ahead of Dustin Pedroia with the fastball. Pedroia 279 for the season. He's got 5 doubles to go along with those 5 home runs. Drew Hutchinson is making his 50th career start. Because he's been around for a couple of seasons, you have a tendency to think he's a little more experienced than he is.
And forget, he's still a 24-year-old kid learning how to pitch in the big leagues.
There's a hanging breaking ball. This ball is hit hard to left field. Saunders runs it down just shy of the warning track. 2 quick outs for Hutchinson here in the first. Well, Michael Saunders, good to see him back out there. You can see he's wearing that knee brace on his left leg, and after trying to play without it for a while, knee got sore, ballooned up on him, and he's going to wear it now for a while just to see if it helps. This is David Ortiz. He was suspended last night. 1-game suspension. He served that. Was not at the ballpark during the game. He's back in there today. Hutchinson pitching ahead to Ortiz as well.
big weapon that John Farrell did not have last night in this Red Sox lineup. David Ortiz loves to hit at Rogers Center. You don't have him in there, it's a big void, as well as Hanley Ramirez, who's back in there today.
Covered that pitch down and away, and got Ortiz worried about the outside corner. Hutchinson has handled him very well. See the numbers, 1 for 12. Ortiz in this ballpark has 37 home runs and 97 RBIs for his career. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Took it a little bit further off the plate.
Good change up that time by Hutchinson. That's a good location. That's where he wants to be, down and away like that, trying to get Ortiz to chase. See if he comes in with a fastball now.
Slider does it, and that was a good one. Everything was away until the payoff pitch. He threw that slider and got the strikeout. Good start to the day for Drew Hutchinson. Joe Kelly will take them out when we come back. Offensively, John Gibbons' team starting to get whole as Russell Martin's improved lately and Bautista swinging the hot bat. Take a look at their lineup. Devin Travis, Josh Donaldson, then Jose Bautista. And we mentioned Bautista over his last 8 games. He's 9 for 27 with 6 extra base hits. In last night's game, he had the first triple of the season. Russell Martin, his numbers against Joe Kelly are very good. They spent time in the National League. Martin with Pittsburgh, Kelly with St. Louis. So Russell Martin knows Joe Kelly and has had success against him.
26-year-old right-hander is making his 6th start of the season. He ranks 4th in the American League in the strikeouts per 9 innings behind his teammate Clay Buchholz, Carlos Carrasco from the Indians, and Tampa Bay's Chris Archer. He faced the Blue Jays at Fenway back on April 27th. Went 6 innings, gave up 5 earned runs, but he also set a new career high with 10 strikeouts of Blue Jays hitters in that no decision.
This is Devin Travis, who homered in that game you mentioned. He hit a home run off of Kelly in the 3rd inning. Actually was 2 for 3 off of Joe Kelly. Average at 286. Kelly will give you some fastballs to hit. Russell Martin mentioned that when he faced him in the National League, you always had to honor the fastball and respect that you were going to get a good fastball. 2-1 to the leadoff man for the Jays.
Kelly's got a great arm. He'll get it up to 96. We saw him touch 100 at Fenway Park in that game, but he will also leave balls on the plate that are hittable. Falling behind in the count, have to hit his mistakes.
Bouncing ball to third. Sandoval on the run, on the money, 1 down. Pablo Sandoval moves around pretty well at third base. Let's take a look at the rest of the Red Sox defense. Hanley Ramirez is back in the lineup. He left Monday's game after crashing into the wall at Fenway. Mookie Betts in center. Alan Craig was in left last night. He is in right this afternoon. Sandoval and Bogarts on the left side. Pedroia and Napoli on the right side. And a rookie, Blake Swihart, behind the plate for Joe Kelly.
Well, Hanley's been out since Monday, since he crashed into that wall. And John Farrell, glad to have him back in the lineup. He ended his 10 home runs and all of his production.
See, he's moving around in the outfield trying to get some direction from the dugout. Ramirez, of course, is a former shortstop playing in the outfield for the first time in his career. Josh Donaldson, 2-hit night last night, including his 7th home run of the season. Good start to his Blue Jay career. 7 homers, 19 RBIs, and a .300 batting average. Oh, 0-2, trying to elevate it, and he does, but it's too high. Joe Kelly came over from the Cardinals in the trade that sent John Lackey to St. Louis. Kelly and Alan Craig came from St. Louis. How about that for a start for Donaldson? Inside out swing, a 1-out base hit to right.
This is what Donaldson does. He's a veteran type hitter, understands the game, and he will take what's given. This time with 2 strikes. Watch him keep his hands inside the baseball. Really trying to get inside that ball. Just happy with a base hit the other way, not trying to do too much. Good 2-seam fastball by Kelly, but Donaldson does a great job pulling the hands inside.
I think that's the one thing that really helps Donaldson is understanding this ballpark, knowing that you don't have to pull everything to hit it out of the yard, and he can use the whole field. Jose Bautista, we mentioned his hot streak. For his last 18, he has got 9 for 27 and swinging the bat well. Average over 200. Two and 0. Bautista hit a ball off the top of the fence in center for his first triple of the season. That was in last night's game. Ball gets away from Napoli, and Donaldson's going to move into scoring position. Napoli got a glove on it, but he had to reach into the baseline to make the play. Donaldson's not a base stealing threat, certainly in this situation with Bautista at the plate.
Well, it's very difficult for a first baseman to handle that throw that's into the runner. That's a ball Napoli should have had, just didn't get down there enough. But when that throws into the runner can block you off a little bit. Napoli not able to get as far as he needed to with that glove.
Well, the air has been charged to the pitcher, Joe Kelly. Now Donaldson's at second for Bautista. Pulled foul. The Red Sox have a very interesting defensive alignment for Bautista. Napoli, the first baseman, he's halfway between first and second, but Pedroia, he's still on the first base side of the bag. Oftentimes, the Red Sox will play 3 defenders on the third base side of second. A good breaking ball.
Good breaking ball behind in the count. Joe Kelly on a 2-1 pitch throwing that. But we've seen Bautista now. Last year he started doing it. We've seen him this year on occasion go the other way and use that whole field. So you may see those shifts changing a little bit now on Jose. They know that he will take one the other way, especially with 2 strikes.
2-2. Now it's a full count. Encarnacion is on deck.
This is what Joe Kelly will do. He's got the high-powered fastball. We saw him touch 3 digits at Fenway Park in his start against the Blue Jays. That one up at 98, but when he's got that breaking ball working, those are 2 very difficult pitches to handle.
Ball 4. 2 aboard for Edwin Encarnacion. Joe Kelly throws hard. He's got a great fastball, but you can see he is the best in baseball in average fastball velocity.
Well, he can get it up there. He touched 3 digits at Fenway Park in that last start against the Blue Jays, but he has still had his struggles. Velocity does not translate into success, and his .572 ERA will touch on that. He still has to command the baseball and not fall behind so much. It doesn't matter how hard you throw. If you're going to fall behind and hitters are in fastball counts, they can hit 100. Have to have that secondary stuff to go with it. You see Joe Kelly falling behind hitters a lot this season, really struggling to find that command.
Encarnacion batting at .228. The breaking ball catches the outside corner. 0-2. Boston has had real problems falling behind early in games. Their starters have put the ball club in the hole often, and the hitters always feel like they're playing catch up. We have seen a lot of this early in this series with the starter stepping off with the young catcher behind the plate.
Blake Swihart still trying to learn his pitchers, and especially you want to know what the best pitch is, second best pitch in order, but you also want to make sure that you understand what guys like to throw in certain situations, and everyone is different.
You can see Donaldson had jockeyed off the bag just long enough to get the attention of Joe Kelly, and Kelly had his eye on Donaldson when he actually started his delivery to the plate and missed outside.
You see a pitcher on occasion come to the set position, lift that leg, and that runner distracts him. That's just enough to take that focus off home plate.
That ball gets away from Swihart, and the runners are going to move up. Well, Blue Jays got to take advantage of this inning. An error by the pitcher. Ryan Hannigan, their catcher, with a fractured hand on the disabled list. They already lost their starter from a year ago, Christian Vasquez, and they've gone 3 deep behind the plate.
This is a good breaking ball by Kelly. It's down there trying to get Encarnacion to swing at it, but Swihart just did not quite get out there soon enough. If your body's still moving when that ball hits you, there's a good chance it's going to deflect away, and that's exactly what happened to Swihart there.
Wild pitch, second and third, 1 out. The red hot Russell Martin will be next. Full count. Again, Kelly waiting to get the right sign from his catcher. Ball 4. The bases are loaded in the first. Talk about Kelly having that great fastball. Well, Russell Martin loves to hit fastballs.
Well, this could be a good matchup for Russell. Talk about high, hard-throwing pitchers. Russell Martin right up there behind Lorenzo Cain, handling those pitches. And I find when you have a right-handed batter that's right-handed dominant, that's that top hand, and that allows them to get to that high fastball. Very different for sometimes you'll see left-handed throwers and right-handed hitters. That bottom hand is the dominant hand. It's more of a pull through the zone, but Russell gets on top of this baseball. He's really adopted a 2-strike approach here after his early season struggles, and I think that's helped him with a shorter swing.
John Farrell, the manager, out to the mound to talk. They have announced that Carl Willis has been hired as the pitching coach, but obviously he's not here yet. Donaldson with an opposite field base hit is at third. Bautista walked, as did Encarnacion. The bases are loaded for Russell Martin. Down and away. Martin has 4 career grand slams. The Blue Jays have 1 grand slam this season. That was Devin Travis. Martin is 4 for 8 against Joe Kelly. Fly ball to right. Alan Craig backing up. He'll make the catch. Tagging at third is Donaldson. Bautista does the same from second. And the Blue Jays have taken a 1-0 lead. Russell Martin, with his 19th RBI of the season, drives home Josh Donaldson. First run of the ball game.
Nice job by Martin getting a pitch he can handle. You're looking for something out over the plate in that situation. You don't want that pitcher to jam you. Something that you can drive, get it to the outfield. Russell got that plenty deep to right field to drive that runner home.
The Red Sox have now been outscored 24-9 in the first inning. They have played a lot of catch-up this year. This is Kevin Pillar. Pilar was 0 for 4, 0 for 3 last night with a sacrifice fly. Joe Kelly has now thrown 23 pitches in the first.
Continuing to have struggles with his catcher. We saw it a lot last night with Blake Swihart. Now we're seeing it already in the first inning with Joe Kelly. Without a runner on second, they could just go to a single sign, but they're really creating a lot of confusion for themselves.
A pitcher has enough on his plate when he's trying to execute pitches, and it's magnified when he's got to think about pitch selection patterns and how you get a hitter out. There goes the runner, Encarnacion, and he has his first stolen base of the season. Head first slide into second. He gets into scoring position.
Tim Leeper does an amazing job with the base runners. He will study pitchers. He will know what their times are to the plate. And you can see with the big leg kick of Joe Kelly, not anticipating a stolen base from Edwin, but Leeper's probably thinking, if they're going to give it to us, we're taking the 90 feet, and that's exactly what Edwin did.
The Blue Jays have only been caught twice. That's their 18th steal in 20 attempts. Good extension of that left hand to beat the tag at second. If you're going to run at a high percentage, why not? 3-1 to Kevin Pilar. Third walk of the inning. Well, the Red Sox, much like the Blue Jays earlier on, have had real problems using their bullpen too much. The Red Sox bullpen has averaged 3 2/3 innings a game. The Red Sox have rebuilt their starting staff, and the results early on haven't been very good.
They've not been good, and when you have an ERA like that out of your starting rotation, you are going to bury that bullpen early in the season. That is not a good indication a month into the season.
It's Michael Saunders in his return to the lineup. Saunders played in the Cleveland series and then had to have his knee drained. He got a cortisone shot to quiet down the inflammation, but he says it feels 100% better now. Great opportunity for the Blue Jays to bust it wide open here in the first. Boy, you can see Saunders, the veteran, understands Kelly's having a tough time throwing strikes.
And interesting to see two curveballs, Buck. Now, the Red Sox should know that Saunders has not played since last Sunday in Cleveland. I would think a big guy like that, I'm going to challenge him with that good fastball.
I think Kelly's just trying to figure out how he can consistently throw a strike.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's not that easy for a hitter when you've missed a handful of days like Saunders just to get back in there. No rehab assignment or anything. He's just been taking batting practice, but it's a whole different ball game facing a live pitcher. I'd be staying aggressive with the fastball, but those are the inconsistencies of Kelly that have hurt him.
Bases are loaded. Ground ball. Sandoval will gather himself, throw across the diamond, and Joe Kelly. He's 31 pitches in the first, but he minimized the damage. Just one run, but the Blue Jays have a 1-0 lead for Drew Hutchinson.
Presented by the 2015 Honda CR-V, Motor Trend's 2015 Sport Utility of the Year.
.26 at Rogers Center. A gorgeous afternoon. The roof is open, and the Blue Jays have a 1-0 lead early. Drew Hutchinson has been staked to some hefty leads this season, but he's not been able to capitalize on it. You can bet he has got his mindset on taking advantage of an early lead. This is Hanley Ramirez. Ramirez, with 10 home runs and 22 RBIs, was taken out of the game Monday at Fenway when he crashed into the sidewall down the left field line. Sprained his shoulder. And obviously a big important bat for this Red Sox lineup. Last night they did not have Ortiz or Ramirez. Sixth start of his career for Hutchinson against the Red Sox. Breaking ball, he lays off. 3-1 now. Ramirez hit 2 home runs against the Jays in that 3-game series at Fenway. That's a fair ball. Donaldson takes it on the big hop and bounces it to first. And Hanley is safe. Donaldson took his time and just handcuffed Encarnacion at first. That's the 5th there for Donaldson. He's got plenty of time here. Takes it on the second hop and then throws it into the dirt.
Routine play for Donaldson. He fielded it cleanly. The runner's got plenty of time. Edwin not able to come up with that pick, but Josh has had issues with throwing the baseball. He had several throwing errors last year as well. As good as he is with the glove, he's had some misfires. Tried to rush that throw a little bit. Just pulled that right into the ground.
Pablo Sandoval. Last time he saw Drew Hutchinson, he went 3 for 3. Sandoval last night was 0 for 4. Red Sox had only 2 hits in the game. It's a good fastball. He's done a good job of getting that down and away strike to both lefties and righties. One and 2. Sandoval had a pair of doubles against Hutchinson at Fenway Park. He hit the ball the opposite field and had 2 doubles to left. So you can see Russell Martin and Hutchinson both focusing on trying to keep the ball down to Sandoval. Bounces that changeup foul.
Martin with his guidance, he calls the changeup. You see with both hands pointing to the ground, just reminding Hutchinson, you're going to miss here. You want to miss down in the zone. This is the communication you always see between pitchers and catchers. Sometimes it's subtle, sometimes not so subtle. Russell doesn't care if everybody in the ballpark knows. This time he's going with the fastball away.
Just missed. Everything is in a good spot down. Sandoval's one of the best high ball hitters in the game. Think back to that World Series against the Tigers when he jumped on that Verlander high fastball and knocked it out of the yard. Ground ball. Donaldson goes to second for 1. Travis with a turn in time. Oh, what a redemption for Josh Donaldson. He said, I put him on. Let me erase him with a double play.
Well, this is what Josh can do. He can absolutely flash the leather. Remember last year in an A's uniform, you see him on the highlights oftentimes, but he had his issues with throwing the baseball. We saw it earlier, but look at this play, taking this ball out of left field. The one-knee throw and the nice flip and turn by Devin Travis. It's like John Farrell's going to want to look at this.
Yeah, they're going to go to the review and challenge the call at first. Bang, bang at first to complete the double play. It's in the books as a 5-4-3 double play. The umpires have put the headset on there in communication with New York now. Sandoval, boy, kind of slowed down as he got near the bag. First base umpire Lance Barksdale rings him up, but the Boston Red Sox have challenged the call.
Sometimes runners will slow down as they approach the first base bag because they want to step on it with the right foot or correctly. You've got to run hard right through that bag and just let whatever foot happens to be landing land on that base.
So far, there have been 199 reviews in Major League Baseball, and 49 of them have been confirmed. 89 have been overturned. That's 44% of the calls have been overturned. That ball is in the glove, but it looked like the foot was on the bag. But it once again has to be conclusive. Boy, we can do a great job of slowing down the action now, and with high definition, the image is perfect. And that's the beauty of instant replay. You can go back and slow everything down and get it from several different angles. All of these cameras are coordinated in New York, so they all have the same timing. So it's not as if one camera is a split second behind the other, and it's a unique system that works pretty well.
Really shows how difficult it is for umpires with the human eye. You can watch this in slow motion several times, and really it's still very difficult to tell. It's about as tied goes to the runner as you used to hear when you were a kid, but you know what umpires will tell you, no such thing as a tie.
Well, I think too, the call on the field is that he was out, and it has to be conclusive that there's enough evidence to overturn the call, and I don't know if there was enough clear-cut evidence to suggest that call should be reversed.
That's what makes it intriguing, because watching that play right now, you and I would probably call him safe, but because the out call is on the field to reverse it, I'm not so sure there's enough evidence to overturn it. So this is going to be very interesting.
The average time of a challenge to this point this season has been 1 minute and 46 seconds, which is very efficient. This one is taking a little bit longer, of course, because of the nature of the call. But once again, a terrific effort by Donaldson, the third baseman.
Well, he gets himself in a good position when the ball is crossing the plate, entering the hitting zone, to get that first step moving to his left, and makes the one throw from one knee. But nice turn by Devin Travis. We've seen that all season here in the first month. Great transition from the glove to his hand to get that ball to first base.
Umpire still waiting on the ruling from New York. Last year in Oakland, Donaldson committed 23 errors. 17 of them were throwing errors. So far this season, made 3 throwing errors.
Blue Jays brought in Scott Rowland in Dunedin in spring training, trying to get him to offer some tips. And I know the one thing, talking to Luis Rivera and to Josh as well, was he was really working on his footwork. It's one thing to field the baseball, but it's that footwork, getting a little momentum going towards your target at first base. Sometimes Josh would just rush that throw, trying to throw it 1,000 miles per hour, and you do that, you pull off much like a pitcher and you airmail it. But with the one we saw this inning, he actually did the opposite and came over it too much, spiked it into the ground on Edwin.
This review is taking an unusual amount of time, and players on the field are just kind of milling around. Umpires waiting for a decision from New York. Had a similar situation in the Fenway series as we look once more at that play at third, and Donaldson makes a quick throw, and then Travis hangs in there. Boy, there it looked like he may have been safe, and so many different angles, but to give you an idea, it's such a close call. The review staff in New York really taking their time. You never get players on the field to agree. Donaldson committed the error to start the inning. That was his 6th error of the season. It was a throwing error. That was his 4th throwing error. And now just throwing the ball loose. Sandoval still at first base. The ruling on the field is that there are 2 outs, and Hutchinson just trying to stay loose.
Well, Hutchinson, as a pitcher in these delays, you want to stay loose by throwing pitches, but he's already thrown some pitches to Russell Martin. You can't just keep throwing, so this is just a little light toss with his third baseman to try to stay warm.
Now they have overturned it. He is calling Sandoval safe at first. Of course, the out at second is recorded. It's a 5-4 fielder's choice now. So the call has been overturned. 5 minutes and 2 seconds, and that's will show you how close it was and how difficult it was to determine the outcome. But they have overturned the ruling on the field. Well, Mike Napoli will step in. There's a first pitch strike to Napoli. Napoli was 0 for 3 with a walk in last night's game. Well, he's late on that fastball. Napoli's hitting just 167, and it's been even tougher over his last 9 games. 4 for 33. Tried to check and did. Laid off that breaking ball. Napoli strikes out. Chase that pitch off the plate, down and away.
Good sharp slider by Hutchinson. This is what we mean about depth. You have some downward rotation on that slider. Look at that ball go straight down. A little bit away as well, but the more depth Hutchinson has on his slider, the better he is. When that thing gets a little sweepy, it stays more on the same plane. Easier for hitters to identify and to square up.
Alan Craig was in left field last night. He is in right field this afternoon. That low strike has been consistent for Drew Hutchinson early on.
Nice job by Russell Martin there. Coming up underneath that baseball, almost like he's picking it up a little bit to give Gary Cederstrom a good look from behind home plate. That's a tough call to get. And the umpire's over top of you as a catcher. His eyes are a long ways from that bottom of the zone, so it's a difficult call to get. The better you can make that look as a catcher, like Martin did right there, the more likely you are to get that call.
Down for strike 1, up for strike 2.
Changing the plane, and I gotta believe he's going to change speeds right here. We'll see if he goes to the slider, much like he did to Napoli.
Oh, and 2. Elevated another fastball. A couple of strikeouts in the inning for Drew Hutchinson. We'll head to the bottom of the second. Hutchinson's fastball has been good. Good down, and he polishes off Craig upstairs.
great day for the Junior Jays, presented by Boston Pizza. If you missed today's game, you can make it on May 23rd as the Jays host the Mariners at 107. Special price tickets for kids in the 200 and 500 level outfield seats. And after the game, kids 14 and under can run the bases just like the pros. Go to BlueJays.com for more details. Lots of kids in the crowd today, Buck.
There sure are. It's always a very popular day for families to bring the youngsters out and enjoy great atmosphere here at Rogers Center. Chris Colabello batting in the 8th spot. Colabello hit an opposite field a home run in the 2nd inning off of Wade Miley in last night's game. That padded a 1-0 lead. Colabello's a great story for determination and just wanting to realize your dream. He had an opportunity to sign and play baseball in Korea this year and decided not to go. He wanted to pursue his dream of staying in the big leagues. Signed with the Blue Jays, his minor league deal, was invited to spring training. Had a good camp. Hit the ball well in spring training camp, but there just wasn't a spot for him. But he got off to such a great start in AAA Buffalo, they called him up. He's hit well against the East in his career. And breaking ball, Kelly buried. And it's a challenge for Joe Kelly and something he will figure out, I'm sure, with an arm like that. Just to command that breaking ball enough where you have to respect it. Right now, I think the Blue Jays are just sitting on fastball.
Yeah, and that's just a wasted pitch right there. There's no chance you're going to get a swing or that curveball bouncing that far in front of home plate.
97, but up and away. Full count to Colabello. Kelly has walked 3 already in this game. Number 9 hitter will be next, Ryan Goins. Went with the breaking ball. That's 4 walks now for Kelly. Mentioned Joe Kelly had a career high 10 strikeouts against the Blue Jays the last time he faced him, and it's been a downward spiral for him lately.
Well, and you can see just what we've seen so far today. The struggles for Kelly is just that inconsistency. He can paint that outside corner with a fastball at 98. He can throw a great curveball, but you just don't see a lot of those, and he's getting himself into these holes right there. Here we go again with the leadoff walk to Colabello.
4 walks, a season high for Kelly. His career high is 6 walks. That came last August against the Astros. Ryan Goins was showing bunt on that first pitch.
Pablo playing way in at third to take that bunt away. See if he can't get the lead out if he does drop one down.
2-0. Boy, this is the toughest thing for a manager. John Gibbons had to go through it last night with Aaron Sanchez. Sanchez walked 4 in the first 4 innings, and there were plenty of times, I bet you, where he was getting off his seat to reach for that bullpen phone. And that's the toughest challenge for a manager. When to make a move when a pitcher's struggling with his control. Kelly, like Sanchez, has terrific stuff. And you sit there and say, well, he's going to get it figured out.
How long can you wait, though, before your team's out of the ballgame?
Three and one.
And I'm sure, Buck, as a manager, you've got to give these starters a chance to work through it. If your starter's in trouble in the 2nd and 3rd and 4th inning every day, you can't just keep going to the bullpen. So you've got to find a way to help them and guide them and try to get them through their mess.
Well, you can see John Farrell is really studying Joe Kelly on the mound. And John, of course, was a pitching coach before he became the manager of the Blue Jays. Goins hits it to left field. Hanny Ramirez gets turned around but makes the play right on the edge of the warning track. 1 down.
Save during the Lawn and Garden Expert Sale. Only at Home Hardware and Home Hardware Building Center. Homeowners helping homeowners with expert advice.
Back to the top of the order for the Blue Jays. Devin Travis, he grounded out to third his first time up. Travis has been pushed into the leadoff spot with the absence of Jose Reyes. Ball is driven down the right side, but that's going to slice into the seats. You know, you don't really make a conscious adjustment to hitting leadoff. Reyes got some good news today. He was out running around and swinging the bat a little bit. He's not far from a rehab assignment, and he and Ryan Goins have been yapping at each other about who's the starting shortstop.
Looks like Ryan's going to rough up Jose so he can keep playing.
Reyes was out working on his conditioning, trying to get to the point where he can resume full baseball activities, but he's working hard to come back. He got good news on the MRI that the cracked rib was healing, and it won't be too long before he'll be able to resume baseball activities. Blue Jays need him back.
They do, especially at the top of the lineup. We're seeing the struggles now with Devin Travis, probably more suited for the lower part. Being a youngster in this lineup, Jose Reyes was swinging the bat very well before he was injured.
1-2 to Devin Travis. He reaches for it and hits it to Napoli. He bobbles it, and he's able to recover. And now Tim Leeper saying, wait a minute. Joe Kelly, that's right. The umpire at home, Gary Cederstrom, said the pitcher got in the way of the base runner. So he's going to award first base to Devin Travis. That's a good call. Cederstrom, the home plate umpire, is the crew chief. And John Farrell said, what are you doing? He said, well, you can't interfere with a base runner going to a base, and Devin Travis will be awarded first base.
Well, Devin Travis is going to be out on this play. I believe Napoli's going to beat him to the bag, but by Joe Kelly being in his way right here, it slowed him up just enough. But when you see that contact, I think Gary Cederstrom had to make the call.
Absolutely. You just don't know how this play is going to unfold, but Joe Kelly, for some reason, got in the base path and didn't clear the path for Devin Travis.
And as a pitcher covering first base, you want to get over there, but you want to get to that first base line and then come up the line so that you stay away from the runner. That's a big no-no by Joe Kelly right there, and it's going to cost him.
Well, Travis will be awarded first base because of the interference by Joe Kelly. So now there's still just one out. There's a base hit to left field. Colombo is around third. Here's the throw from Ramirez, and it's not in time. Again, Luis Rivera doing a terrific job of being aggressive at third base, taking advantage of the Blue Jays base runners, giving him full effort. Colabello had it on his mind. He was going to score as soon as that ball cleared the infield.
Well, I spoke to Luis Rivera about that today, and he has been extra aggressive, and he knows with the arm of Hanley Ramirez, this is a guy still learning to play left field. Look at this throw, way offline, not even close. Of course, Rivera is going to challenge Hanley Ramirez in this situation. Has certainly paid off.
Jose Bautista with runners at first and second. Boy, the Red Sox just playing uncharacteristically here, making several different mental mistakes. Joe Kelly committed an error which contributed to the first run of the game when he threw wildly at first on a pickoff attempt. Bautista hits it high into center. Betts has room. Travis goes back to second and tag. He'll move up to third. 2 down. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. Paredes has 5 home runs already. He started out on the disabled list, and they have put him in the lineup, and he's been a consistent hitter for them. He's hitting .333 with 15 RBIs. But Bautista's retired on the flyout. Edwin Encarnacion walked in the first. .50 pitches for Joe Kelly through an inning and 2/3.
And that's what a couple of his own blunders will do. It makes you throw more pitches. You're out there longer, and eventually it will not keep him out in this ball game as long.
Wow, Travis just barely got out of the way of that hot shot. I don't know how it missed him.
Watch Devin Travis react to this. That's a line drive that almost got him on the backside, just getting out of the way.
You can see he is way away from the baseline, just to give Edwin as much room as he needs. Blue Jay hitters have done a nice job of forcing Kelly into the strike zone. That'll reach the seats down the right side. Blue Jays have just 2 hits. It seems like they've been hitting the ball all day after, all over the ballpark, but because Kelly has walked 4. He had the interference at first that allowed another base runner to reach. Donaldson has both hits. Foul ball on the check swing. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Blue Jays have scored a run here in the second. It's 2-0 Jays.
This is where Kelly may miss that veteran catcher behind the plate. He's frustrated with himself with the way he's pitching, but he's also frustrated with his error and then getting in the way of the base runner, that interference call. And this is where the calming influence of perhaps a Ryan Hanigan can really help. You just don't have that with the youngster Swihart behind the plate.
You can see he's all over the map with his pitches. Nothing has been consistent, and now on a 3-2 count with 2 outs. Donaldson at first will be off on the pitch. Travis is at third. Martin would be next. There goes Donaldson. Ball 4. Another walk for Encarnacion. So again, Russell Martin will come to the plate with the bases loaded. He did in the first inning in a sacrifice fly to right field. The Red Sox are just starting out on a long road trip. They'll go out to the West Coast and play Oakland and Seattle on this road trip. And you don't want to dig deep down into your bullpen early on and really mess up your entire pitching staff. They go from here to Oakland, play Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday afternoon, then go to Seattle for 4. It's a tough road trip. Russell Martin with the sac fly in the first. That's his 19th RBI of the season. Russell's really picked that up after a slow start. He started off 1 for 24, but he is the leader in OPS since the 17th of April.
This game is all about making adjustments, and Russell Martin has done that at the plate offensively this season. Got off to a very slow start, struggling, and we talked about all spring training. He had an entire pitching staff to get used to, trying to learn his pitchers, calling a ball game, and especially with all of the youngsters. Season started, you could see his struggles offensively, but he just came up with it himself and adopted a bit of a 2-strike approach, just really shortened his swing.
Tried to check his swing and did, according to Lance Barksdale down at first base. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Again, the Blue Jays with the bases loaded. Blue Jays left the bases loaded in the first. All they could manage was just a single run. They scored a run here in the second. Breaking ball, and Martin stays alive. This two-strike approach has worked so well for him. He has really not lost a bit of power.
And you can see, watch the leg kick, very abbreviated here. He used to have a much bigger leg kick. With 2 strikes, he's trying to shorten up. We've seen him go up on the knob a little bit, try to have a little bit more bat control, but he's really letting that ball travel, seeing it longer and identifying pitches better.
Full count. Well, it'll be a track meet now. Devin Travis reached on interference by the pitcher. He's at first. Donaldson with his second hit of the afternoon, now at second, and Encarnacion has walked twice. 3-2, 2 outs. The runners will be off on the pitch. There they go. Martin lines it into the seats. Foul.
There's a perfect example right there about Russell. When he was telling me that he's trying to let the ball travel and keep it deeper in his stance, what that allows you to do is see the baseball longer. Well, he's late on that fastball from Joe Kelly because he's doing that with his 2-strike approach. That's okay, though. That's a great piece of hitting that he can still be alive. Get that bat on plane with that short approach, that short swing path, still able to stay alive and foul off a pitcher's pitch.
We'll do it again. There go the runners. Martin called for the swing this time as the Blue Jays will leave the bases loaded again. Joe Kelly minimizing the damage. Martin trying to check his swing on the breaking ball, goes too far, and he's called for strike 3.
.500. It's the Grand Prix of Indianapolis. Goes today at 3:30 Eastern, 12:30 Pacific on City and Sportsnet 1. Buck?
Thank you, Barry. Obviously a very good time of the year for racing enthusiasts and for baseball fans, because the roof is open at Rogers Center. Good crowd on hand last night. There were over 30,000 here for the ball game. 30,430. Appears to be a much bigger crowd this afternoon. Blue Jays will wrap up their series against Boston tomorrow and then head out on the road. 3 in Baltimore, 4 in Houston. We'll get the first look at the Houston Astros, who still have a 5-game lead in the AL West.
Rather see them when they're cooling off.
Cooling off a bit. They're still 8 games over 500. This is Xander Bogaerts, the shortstop. Ball on a strike to Bogaerts. He's just 22 years old. The Red Sox have some key players in key positions that are young. Mookie Betts in center, Bogarts at short, Swihart behind the plate, and the future is very bright for their homegrown talent. Two balls and 2 strikes to the leadoff hitter here in the third. Bogarts takes that pitch and takes advantage of the shift, just pokes it into right. Leadoff single. Well, Drew Hutchinson's on a bit of a roller coaster early in this season. When he's good, he's real good, and when he's bad, he's not very good.
Well, it's like last season. That's the way he was. When he was good, he was outstanding. He had that slider working, fastball command, the big thing for him, and he was very good. When he's not, that fastball's elevating just a bit, and it flattens out, and that's when he gets hit hard, when he gets caught in the middle of the plate.
One thing that has been a problem for him, he's not been able to get out of the 5th inning in 4 of his last 5 starts. And he's had some big leads.
Nothing more frustrating for a pitcher, too, when your team has supported you and really the game is in hand, if you can give a pretty good effort and just battling to get through that 5th inning.
It seems as though at times Hutchinson just slows down and tries to make perfect pitches, where early in the game he came out aggressively and he was making great pitches.
And I think that's the key word right there. Be aggressive. Trust your stuff. Trust that fastball, the movement on that 2-seam fastball, and let hitters get themselves out.
This is Blake Swihart, the catcher. He's a switch hitter. He's 2 for 18. This is his 6th game with the Red Sox. He was called up after Ryan Hannigan broke his hand. Hutchinson has 3 strikeouts so far this afternoon. Russell Martin trying to sell that low pitch to Gary Cederstrom, the home plate umpire.
He does such a good job with that pitch. We talked about that earlier. That one's just a little bit too low. Gary Cederstrom was not buying.
Leadoff man Mookie Betts is on deck. There goes the runner, and it's fouled back. John Farrell trying to get something going offensively. They have really been stagnant. The Red Sox have scored 2.14 runs a game in May. 7 games. They've lost 6 of those 7 games. Their offense has dried up.
Well, he puts the runner in motion right there. The only problem is if Hutchinson strikes out Blake Swihart, you've got a guy behind the plate that can flat out throw the baseball to second base. He may run into a double play.
There goes the runner again. Another foul into the seats. But Farrell, instead of just waiting back for the offense to turn things around, he's taking the aggressive approach. Just start the runner.
I think you have to. By starting the runner, you get a little movement in the middle of the infield there. Shortstop Ryan Goins will be covering the bag. Maybe you open up a hole and Swihart can find that hole into left center field.
This is popped up. Donaldson over near the seats will get there and makes the catch as Bogart returns to first. The Red Sox got off to a decent start, and then the last 15 games the problems have been all encompassing. They haven't pitched well, they haven't hit very much. Their run differential is nearly 30, and their clutch hitting has disappeared.
And that's what happens when things go south. They go south in all aspects of the game. I look right away at the 5.67 ERA. That is an absolute killer. The offense has to really pound the baseball to make up for that, and they're not doing anything right now.
Mookie Betts lined out to the shortstop his first time up. The Blue Jays turned a double play earlier in the game, but they had it overturned after the Red Sox challenged the call at first. Pablo Sandoval hit into what was a 5-4-3 double play, but he was ruled safe after the review. Baltimore leading the Yankees 4-0. Kansas City, boy, that's a great series. Kansas City and Detroit. Foul back. Hutchinson has a good fastball today. It's really been sneaky, and when the hitters offer at it, they've been late.
And I think you look at the hitter's swings more than anything. I would trust my eyes rather than the number on the radar gun on the scoreboard. He's been around 92, 93, but when you look at some of the swings these Red Sox hitters are taking, it's looking more like a 95, 96 mile per hour fastball, providing a little deception. Ball sneaking up on hitters.
0-2. Right back up the middle. That'll be a base hit. Bogarts will stop at second. 2 aboard, 1 out. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. Jamie, you're right, and the Orioles have a good starter on the mound in Wei-Yin Chen, who's allowed just 2 hits through 3 2/3. So Baltimore with an early lead. Three home runs for the Orioles in that game. Chris Davis, Jimmy Paredes, and Alejandro De Aza all going deep. Dustin Pedroia, second baseman. You know that this lineup is going to score runs. It's just a matter of time. The Blue Jays hope it's somewhere out in the West Coast after they leave Toronto. Couple of perfect pitches to Pedroia, and he's behind 0-2.
And that's what it feels like sometimes. Dustin Pedroia spoke out the other day about that, and you get tired of answering the questions. What's going on with this offense? How come you're not hitting, not cashing in at big times with runners in scoring position? It gets old, but you know, you get situations like this. Here's Pedroia in a key situation, and Hutchinson paints the outside corner. John Farrell's not happy at all with these last 2 calls.
The Red Sox have hit 0-77 in the last 7 games with runners in scoring position, just 4 for 52. Pedroia protecting the plate, chases that high pitch. Well, you would imagine everything's a little bit edgy with the Red Sox right now. They just fired their pitching coach on Thursday. John Farrell has assumed the pitching coach duties until Carl Willis joins the club. He has been announced as the new pitching coach. He was in AAA with the Cleveland Indians. Another foul into the seats. Boston is 3 games under 500, 4th place in the AL East. They and the Orioles both 3 games under 500. Blue Jays are at 500 at 15-15. This whole division is going to be bunched up all summer long, I believe.
Well, you saw it last season too. As around midseason, we were having the same conversation, saying somebody's going to take off, and it was the Baltimore Orioles. They took away and ran with it. Russell Martin just had a chat with Drew Hutchinson out in the mound. It'll be interesting to see how they approach Pedroia here. 0-2.
Down and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Blue Jays lead it 2-0.
I was never a fan of throwing too many of the same pitches in the same location, and he's really stayed hard away to Dustin Pedroia this at bat, and I think that's why he wanted to mix in a slider right there. We'll see if he goes back with it or he goes ahead and elevates another fastball.
Now it's 2-2. And this is where Hutchinson has run into problems. When he loses it, he can't get back into the zone, and he's got to make an adjustment here. Get Pedroia to put the ball in play. David Ortiz, then Hanley Ramirez. You're messing with danger in this lineup. Ortiz struck out his only time up. There's a strikeout, foul tipped, and Martin was able to hold on.
Just great game calling right there. Looked like Russell Martin went to the changeup there. Pedroia had not seen a changeup this entire at bat. A lot of fastballs early, went to a couple sliders, but then throws him a pitch he has not seen yet. Good job, nice pitch sequence calling right there by Martin.
So Hutchinson now with 4 strikeouts, and Pedroia and the rest of the Red Sox bench giving it to the home plate umpire.
We're not going to listen to it. You just want to keep going.
And now John Farrell's out of the dugout and saying, send the attention my way. Take it off the players, and he is out to top Cedarstrom. And you can see the perspective of the umpire looking into that dugout. The Red Sox going through a tough time. We mentioned the fact that they are 9-14 in the AL East. Ortiz chases the first pitch. He's behind 0-1.
Well, it all started with Dustin Pedroia questioning a couple of those first fastballs away with Gary Cedarstrom behind home plate, but immediately John Farrell is going to be yelling from the bench to protect Pedroia, as you talked about. And then Cedarstrom's looking in the dugout. He may run anybody.
It's a little looper into left, and that's going to be caught by Saunders. Michael Saunders back in the lineup in left field. Stayed with it and made a knee-high catch to save a run for Drew Hutchinson. Good to have Saunders' presence in the lineup again. He's an outfielder that's played all 3 positions here. He makes a nice catch to end the inning.
On demand in true HD, real-time highlights, live look-ins, pitch tracking, widget, and much more. MLB.TV Premium. It includes a free At-Bat 15 subscription. Watch baseball at home, at the office, or on the go. Season-long subscription packages are available. Visit BlueJays.com for more details. And if you're like me and you like to follow pitch tracks, you can see that Dustin Pedroia didn't really have that much of a case because those balls were on the edge of the strike zone.
Yeah, you go explain that to him, Barry.
I'll show it to him.
Tomorrow, all right?
Will do.
Kevin Pillar leads things off for the Blue Jays here in the 3rd. Grounds it to first, Napoli. will go to the bag and retire Pilon. Blue Jays have really come alive with the bats, and we talk about Russell Martin leading the way. Bautista's starting to swing the bat very well, but you look at what the offense has done over its last 10 games, Joe. It's been pretty productive.
Well, they've been very productive. Brooke Jacoby's got to be thrilled with what's going on. Big part of that is Russell Martin, but Edwin and Jose are slowly coming around. They haven't been hitting the ball out of the ballpark yet. When they do, those numbers are going to skyrocket. We saw that last May.
Michael Saunders made a nice running catch to end the top half of the third inning. There's that fastball you were talking about, and timing, of course, is an issue. Saunders had a very limited spring training. He had surgery on his left knee after an injury at the minor league complex and didn't have a regular spring training by any means. So that's going to set him back, and then he had the setback after the Cleveland series. He did not play any of the 3 Yankee games and was not in the lineup last night.
Hard to catch up with 96 on a good day, let alone when you've been off for 4 or 5 days. So Michael's trying to catch up a little bit right here in both senses.
Drives that one to right. Craig stays with it, and Saunders hit it right on the nose. That's a good sign. But Chris Colabello will step in with 2 outs. Colabello walked in the second. Colabello, we mentioned he had a chance to go to Korea and play there, make some big money, but he chose to stay here and take another chance at the big leagues. He hits this right to the shortstop. Bogarts throws him out. 6 pitches for Joe Kelly. He sorted things out a bit in the third.
Stories. Sign up at nextissue.ca/baseball and get an extended 60-day free trial. I spoke to John Gibbons today regarding the struggles of Drew Hutchinson, and he said, yes, he acknowledges that Hutchinson is very even-keeled and never lacks in confidence, but this game can still eat you up mentally regardless of where you are in your career. He says we sometimes tend to forget because of guys like Aaron Sanchez and Daniel Norris that Drew Hutchinson is still very green. He hasn't been in the league very long, and he can be very prone to some of these mental lapses in the game that could be leading to some of the struggles he's had so far this year.
Barry, that's a great point. This is his 50th career start, which is shy of 2 full years in the majors. And, you know, you see moments where Hutchinson makes you think he's more experienced, and then moments that remind you he's just 24.
Well, you've got Dickey and Burley at the front of the rotation. And then you've got Hutchinson with Norris and Sanchez, and Hutchinson's the elder statesman of those young kids, but he's only 24 years old. He's still trying to figure it out here at the major league level, and he certainly had his struggles. But I think with the bright spots you've seen, just trying to find that consistency, and nobody's more frustrated than Drew.
Changeup pulled foul by Ramirez. And Ramirez reached on an error into second, a throwing error by the third baseman Josh Donaldson. Ramirez back in the lineup after banging into the wall down the left field line. Caught a ball in fair territory and crashed into the sidewall. Sprained his shoulder. I watched him during BP today. There were no signs of any concern about his shoulder. What a good pitch. That fastball down and away does the trick. 5 strikeouts for Hutchinson.
Save during the Lawn and Garden Expert Sale. Only at Home Hardware and Home Hardware Building Center. Homeowners helping homeowners with expert advice.
Good afternoon for a hot dog. Good afternoon for a post-game picnic. Third baseman Pablo Sandoval. Well, they changed in this at bat. They worked him downstairs in the first at bat and got him to ground into a fielder's choice, and now they've elevated a couple pitches.
See where Russell Martin goes here now. It looks like he's trying to elevate inside.
They do it again. Russell Martin, we had a good conversation with him prior to this game talking about Sandoval. He said, I caught enough behind Sandoval. I have a pretty good feel for what he's trying to do in a particular at bat. Now they're going to switch. Breaking ball, foul. Joe, you sat behind hitters your whole career. Are there things that you can see from a hitter that will tip you off as to his approach?
You can see sometimes hitters will play with where they are in the batter's box. You got to keep an eye on that. Watch Russell probably keep an eye on his feet, but especially the way they react to certain pitches. If they're reacting very well to a pitch inside, you know they're cheating in there, so you can go back out.
Change up, line to left. Sandoval just took what Hutchinson gave him. That changeup was up and away, and he stroked it into left. He's a good hitter.
And that's why good hitters take advantage of mistakes by pitchers. Good idea right here going with the changeup, but that pitch needs to be way down in the zone. See that fade there, it stays on the same plane as the bat as well. Didn't have as much downward movement.
Well, especially in that at bat, because he had thrown him fastballs up, and then a changeup up is nothing more than a poor fastball.
Yep, it's right there on plane. Pablo just drills it into left, but good hitters will do it.
Napoli takes it down the right side. That's a fair ball. Sandoval's around second. He's headed for third, and now they're going to stop him as Colabello dug it out down in the corner. So Napoli just reaches out and pokes a double down into the right field corner. And the Sox are threatening here with 1 out in the 4th.
This pitch again out over the plate and rather flat from Hutchinson. When it stays up in the zone like that, that's when Drew gets in trouble. He needs to get back on top of the baseball. Really think of that downward plane, downhill plane. And when things flatten out for him and get out in that thigh area right there to Napoli, he's able to put the barrel on it.
Second and third, 1 out. Alan Craig struck out his first time up. He'll be the batter. Craig has been a very good player in his National League career. He and Joe Kelly came to the Red Sox in exchange for John Lackey. But he has only started 34 of 79 games since he's joined Boston. And you just can't have any kind of consistency with that infrequent of playing time. 2-0 now to Craig.
Any hitter will tell you, very difficult when you're not playing every day. Playing every day, you keep that timing, the rhythm. If you go 0 for 4, hey, get him tomorrow. Whereas When you're not playing every day, you take those offers home with you and you got to sit on them for a few days, but very difficult to keep that timing, which is so important to a hitter when you're not playing all the time.
Well, that's a tough 2-0 pitch for Craig as Hutchinson got it right on the outside corner, about knee high. Broken bat. Little looper, and Goins makes the catch. Boy, if he doesn't catch that, Craig's going to reach. Everybody's going to be safe, but he stayed with it and made another good defensive play at short.
Brian Goins just continues to flash the leather. This is a tricky play because Ryan thought that Josh Donaldson was going to get to this ball. He's not going to get to it, but Josh is almost screening him a little bit. Stays with it the whole way to backhand it. Makes the play and keeps the runners at bay.
Boy, Ryan Goins has really played well defensively at shortstop, and here he takes a base hit away from Craig, who got sawed off, but if that ball bounces, they don't have a play. 2 outs now. Xander Bogaerts, he's singled into right, and he has hit well against Hutchinson. He is now 6 for 11 against the Blue Jays right-hander. It's a big at bat for Hutchinson. Good way to start it.
When you see a pitch like that, just throw it there all the time, Drew. But if he could, he would. So easier said than done. But that's a great spot to be. And we'll see how he handles Bogaerts here. He does have the open base, but at the same time, you don't want to be adding additional base runners.
Just in case Bogaerts was thinking about leaning out over the plate, he straightened him up.
That is a great pitch right there by Hutchinson. And a lot of people, you get a lot of oohs and ahs in the game these days. Anytime a pitch is in off the plate, and especially if it's up. But that's the type of pitch right there that will open up that outside part of the plate. We'll see if Russell goes back out there or if he may double up in there.
Missed down and away. The Blue Jays shut out the Red Sox last night 7-0. Aaron Sanchez, Aaron Loup, and Steve Delabar combined to shut out Boston. It was the first shutout by the Blue Jays since last September. Mark Burley beat Taijuan Walker and the Mariners 1-0. Russell Martin, he's got a rookie on deck in Blake Swihart. Even though he's a switch hitter, he understands that Bogaerts has hit Hutchinson well. He might be pitching conservatively off the plate here just to see if Bogaerts will chase. Oh, he went after him with the fastball and got it by him.
Very surprised to see that pitch right there, Buck. I was agreeing with you 100%. To start the at-bat, you may go after Bogaerts, but once you fall behind 3-1, I did not think he was going to get a pitch to hit right there. He threw the fastball. I don't know if Russell will think of coming back with that or going for the slider.
Sandoval's at third, Napoli's at second. Swihart, the catcher, on deck. Nothing wrong with Hutchinson's fastball.
That may be exactly what Russell Martin's thinking here, too. It was a slider, a hanging slider that Napoli drilled into the right field corner. Pablo Sandoval hit a changeup that he left up in the zone the other way. He may just say, we're going to be aggressive here and challenge him with the heater.
Ground ball. Goins it short. Into the inning. Hutchinson uses the fastball to retire Bogaerts and strand a pair. Boston has left 5 on base early on.
Presented by the 2015 Honda CR-V, Motor Trend's 2015 Sport Utility of the Year.
Well, if you can't be at the ballpark, it's a good place to be out on Lake Ontario, and you can see the boats are out, people are moving around, having a great time, going over to Center Island. Good day for an afternoon picnic after this ball game. 26 degrees at the start of this game, and it feels like summer already. See, here's Ryan Goins. He flied out deep to left field his first time up. Joe Kelly had a good inning in the third. He retired to side in order on just 6 pitches. He needed an efficient inning. Breaking ball in the dirt, and Goins strikes out. 1 down. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership. Junior Jays Saturday, a lot of kids on hand here at Rogers Center. Devin Travis. Devin reached on a play that you don't see very often in the second. He hit a ball to the first baseman, and Joe Kelly, the pitcher, got in his way, and Travis made contact with Kelly in the base path before he got to first and was awarded first base because of interference. You can come to the ballpark and see something that you've never seen before, no matter what it is, what day it is. Think about Bryce Harper hitting 5 home runs in 2 games.
It is so true in this game. No matter how long you've been around it, see something you have not seen before. Felipe Alou used to say that he was in the game for over 50 years, and he continued to see new things.
Bryce Harper, 22 years old, hit 5 home runs in a 2-game span. Harper's the youngest player to do that since Mark McGwire in '87 did it at 23 years old. 3-2. Ball 4, another walk. 6 walks now for Kelly, and Josh Donaldson has had a perfect start to his day. 2 for 2, and you talk about somebody that likes his new home. How about Donaldson here at Rogers Center?
Well, he's certainly liking it here in Toronto. He's got to work on those road numbers, but I think those numbers are going to change here as we get deeper into the season. Donaldson becoming more and more comfortable, certainly comfortable in the American League, but see those road numbers change very soon, I believe.
Goes after that high fastball. Last year in Oakland, his home ballpark, playing with the A's, he hit .233 at home. And that's one of the toughest hitter ballparks in all of baseball. Right there by San Francisco Bay. It's cool, cold, heavy air, a lot of wind there, and the ball just doesn't carry. And Donaldson is thriving here in his first year at Rogers Center. Donaldson checking with Gary Cederstrom, the umpire. They've been hit by that foul pitch.
Well, both catchers and umpires back there are sitting ducks. Gary Cederstrom took this right off the face mask. He's wearing that hockey style, goalie style mask that is supposed to help deflect the baseball away and take the brunt off of your face.
Of course, the umpires are in the same peril as the catchers regarding those foul chips, and Gary chooses to wear that hockey style mask. Certainly gives you more overall protection, but there have been questions about whether or not it helps you with the concussions.
I think a direct hit is a direct hit, no matter what you're wearing.
There's a little looper into right. Craig broke back. He'll recover and make the catch. Donaldson's retired. Jose Bautista has walked and flied out. Bautista continues to serve as the DH as he's dealing with that bad right shoulder. He's not played in the field since April 21st. He's still putting up the numbers and making impressions.
Future Bautista right there. There's a future slugger.
Jose certainly very popular with fans in Toronto, across Canada. That slider is down and away for ball 2. Bautista still producing 5 home runs, 17 RBIs. Both Bautista and Encarnacion have yet to hit full stride. 2 of the best sluggers in baseball.
I keep saying when these two heat up, the American League is going to know about it. Saw what Edwin did last May. Really turned it up, but these two guys back to back in the lineup with Josh Donaldson in front of them now. What a threesome.
Well, the interesting thing is they still lead the majors in runs scored. Bautista given the green light, 3-0. It's a good move by John Gibbons. Go ahead and turn him loose. See if you can't get him going a little bit. Give him an opportunity to freewheel it. The Blue Jays have scored 162 runs. This is their 31st game of the season. Bautista walks for a second time. 7 walks issued by Joe Kelly.
That's what Jose does so well too. He gives you such a good plate appearance. He's not afraid to pass the baton on to Edwin right here. Just keep that train rolling.
7 walks is a career high for Kelly. His previous high was 6. He did that last year against Houston. Encarnacion missed his pitch middle, and he fouled it straight back.
He was sitting all over that fastball from Joe Kelly, and he got it. And as a slugger, you know Edwin's frustrated right there. You don't want to miss that pitch. You don't know if you're going to get another one in this at bat.
Two 2-0 Blue Jays. We're in the bottom of the 4th. He went around. Off-speed pitch. 0-2. He stays on that breaking ball and stays alive.
Well, Joe Kelly has battled, but he's really keeping his team in the ballgame. The Blue Jays had a 2-0 lead yesterday before they could add 2 in the 6th, and this is the point in the game where you want to try to tack on. If you can slowly tack on a run or 2, that can run Kelly out of the ballgame and get the Blue Jays to pad that lead.
Now, the Blue Jays have stranded the bases loaded twice in this ballgame, 1st and 2nd inning. There go the runners. The catcher didn't have a throw as they took advantage of Kelly focused on the hitter, and they pull off the double steal. Second stolen base for Travis, the first for Bautista as they move up. Kelly so locked in on the hitter he didn't even pay attention to the base runners.
Nice job too, trailing. Evan Travis following.
There's a drive. This one's out of here and way back. Encarnacion, a 3-run home run.
Well, that's how you add on, and that's how you try to get to Joe Kelly. Do not let him off the hook. Edwin finally got a hanger from Kelly that he could handle, and you just cannot afford to make a mistake against one of the premier sluggers in this game.
Edwin's first home run since April 21st. A timely 3-run homer.
What do we say about the American League knowing when these guys wake up? It was a curveball from Kelly, but it was not a very good one, hung it on the inner half of the plate.
Russell Martin behind 0-2. Another look at that breaking ball, and with 2 strikes, Encarnacion was all over it.
Look at the height of that pitch, though. That is not where you want to break a ball. Anything with rotation, spin on it, you want it down in the zone. He left that one about thigh high.
Right back to the mound. Martin will ground out to end the inning, but Edwin Encarnacion with a 3-run home run has given the Blue Jays a 5-0 lead. Now it's time for a Blue Jays Central update. Here's Jamie Campbell and Greg Zahn.
On Tuesday, July 14th, help make Jose Bautista, Devin Travis, Russell Martin, Josh Donaldson, and the man who just hit the 3-run home run, Edwin Encarnacion, starters for the American League. Fans are allowed to vote a maximum of 25 times per email address. Vote early, vote often, vote at BlueJays.com. And for many Blue Jays, they are first time ever seeing their names on a ballot, including Devin Travis, who still is pretty amazed by the thought of his name being on a ballot.
Now, it's a great opportunity for fans to voice their opinion, put some Blue Jays on the ballot. You can see Gary Cederstrom making an adjustment to his helmet and his sunglasses. He took a pretty good shot on a foul tip and had to regroup a little bit in between innings.
Sometimes some screws will come loose in that face mask or in the helmet, whatever pieces are being held together there. If you don't doctor those up every once in a while, they loosen.
Drew Hutchinson following suit with the other 3 starters ahead of him. No runs, 4 hits through 4 innings, and he hasn't walked a batter. His counterpart, Joe Kelly, has walked 7. That's the high for a single game in the majors. Kelly becomes the 3rd pitcher to walk 7 in a single start. Sonny Gray did it on May 3rd against Texas, pitching for Oakland, and Aaron Sanchez walked 7 against Baltimore. So the walks have been a problem for Kelly. 2 walks in the 4th. They both scored on the 3-run home run. That's a real catch-22 when you think about Sonny Gray, Aaron Sanchez, and Joe Kelly. You say, wow, they all got great stuff.
Yes, they do. See Joe Kelly today, and you almost want to make that comparison to Aaron Sanchez. Great high-powered arms, good breaking ball, good stuff, but just trouble corralling it at times.
Well, Joe Kelly was a closer in college at UC Riverside, so there's a lot of people around Boston say, well, maybe he's better suited to be a closer, but I agree with John Farrell. I think you got to find out if he can start. He's got such great stuff.
Of course, he's a few years ahead of Sanchez. Sanchez just 22 years old.
Full count to the catcher, Blake Swihart, batting 9th. Top of the order, Mookie Betts. He singled to center to extend his hit streak to 7 straight. Swihart goes after that pitch and bounces it foul.
This has been a tough inning for Drew. He's had to get through this 5th inning. It's that infamous 5th inning for a starting pitcher. You have to go 5 to get a win. Pitchers sniff that out. They can smell it going out there, but he has certainly had his struggles.
He has not finished the 5th inning in 4 of his last 5 starts, and he's had leads. He was the first Blue Jays starter to go 8 innings in his 3 starts ago against the Orioles right here. He went 8 innings, allowed 2 runs on 4 hits, didn't walk a batter in that game. There he throws strike 3, catches the catcher Swihart looking, and that's the 6th strikeout for Hutchinson.
Big pitch for Drew right there. He keeps the ball down in the zone. It looks like he actually froze Swihart right on that outside corner, bottom of the zone. Again, nice job by Russell Martin receiving that pitch, but that's where Drew has to be, down in the zone, get that movement. Big inning for Hutchinson.
Special vantage point for that fan across the street from Rogers Center. The single in the 3rd extended the hitting streak of Mookie Betts to 7 straight. Change up over Donaldson down the left field line. That hits off the wall. Saunders will play it back in. Mookie Betts coasts into 2nd with his 8th double of the season.
Mookie got off to a slow start this season, but that's a good piece of hitting when you can stay on a changeup like that. Rides that back leg, stays behind the baseball, keeps that bat in the hitting zone, lines it just over the glove of Donaldson.
So Betts aboard with a 1-out double. Now Dustin Pedroia, he had a beef with the home plate umpire in his last at bat regarding the strike zone. Took it back to him in the dugout, and they continued their conversation from the dugout. There's a base hit to right. Betts is around 3rd. He's going to score. Pedroia jumps on the first pitch, and the Red Sox are on the board. Pedroia picks up his 13th RBI. He cashes in Mookie Betts. He wasn't going to let the umpire have an impact on his at-bat that time. He went after the first pitch.
He said, I'm getting this at-bat over with early, teeing off on that first pitch fastball away from Hutchinson. Another nice piece of hitting by a Red Sox hitter. This one you see it come back out over the plate. Russell Martin wanted that ball on the outside corner like they had pitched him earlier, but that 2-seam action brings it back to the middle.
David Ortiz. Ortiz 0 for 2 this afternoon. He is now 1 for 14 against Drew Hutchinson. Ortiz has had some problems catching up to good fastballs. And They're working him over pretty good here again this afternoon.
You get a little bit older, that bat may slow down just a bit. These big sluggers generally like the ball out over the plate. We talked about that with some of the Yankees hitters, the Mark Teixeiras. They like that ball out over the plate. Gets tougher to handle that good fastball in when you get a little bit older.
0-2. This is popped up. Long run for Donaldson, who is playing Ortiz to pull, and that'll land safely and bounce out of play. We mentioned the problems with the fastball. You look at the last 4 seasons for David Ortiz, and the numbers have fallen off dramatically as far as his average against fastballs.
That's what we're seeing even in just this at bat. Ortiz getting a little bit older now, tougher to handle that fastball each and every year. This season is as low as he's ever been, just tough to get to. Bat speed slows down just a bit. These big guys like it out over, and they also feast on the off-speed pitches out over the plate.
And too, from a pitcher's perspective, you see the big body David Ortiz standing there, and you're thinking, man, I don't want to throw him anything inside. Well, that's against the grain. That's where you got to pound him. He struck out on that slider in the first inning. This time he watches it bounce in the dirt.
And that could be just changing the plane right there. Russell Martin going with the slider in the dirt. We'll see if he comes back with the fastball. There's 3 ways to pitch. You want to move the ball in and out. You want to change the plane up and down, and then back and forth, which is changing speeds. I think Russell Martin does a very good job of that, calling a game, but you can only work with what you've got. If your pitcher's not executing pitches, it's hard to execute a game plan.
Ortiz takes it the other way. They stayed away from him, and he was able to stroke it into left field. 3 hits in the inning, and John Gibbons is coming out. It doesn't appear as though this is a visit to make a pitching change. This is a message visit. And Gibbons has seen something that he wants to address here. He has come to the mound, and the bullpen just now starting to throw.
This could be a little speech right here. You called it, Buck. This could be one of those cases where, look, son, you have not been able to get out of the 5th inning on 4 occasions. Your team has a lead. This is a time for you to step up, make some pitches, and get this thing done.
Yeah, that was exactly the point of that visit. Liam Hendriks just now starting to loosen up. You can see he's not even on the rubber yet. So Gibbons said, let me go out here and talk to this young man and say, this is your inning. I'm not going to take you out of this inning. Just make some good pitches like you have earlier in this game and get yourself out of it. Sometimes managers have to deliver those messages.
And I think just the fact that the manager went out there instead of the pitching coach, it breaks up that monotony and routine, which is the way it normally occurs. Drew gets that message right there when Gibbons comes out.
This is Hanley Ramirez. Ramirez didn't like that first strike call. Gary Cedarstrom looking at him as if to say, are you kidding me?
Still looking at him.
Hanley Ramirez is dangerous. He's got 10 home runs. But it's interesting. He doesn't have a double, doesn't have a triple. All of his extra bases hits have gone out of the ballpark. This is a fly ball to right. Colabello makes the catch, and Pedroia will hold at second. That's a big out for Hutchinson. Drew Hutchinson having a bit of a problem 2nd and 3rd time through the order. First time, no problem. Then the 2nd time, hitters with a little more information, and the 3rd time, that's when he's really run into problems, that 5th inning.
And that's where you've got to change it up a little bit. You can't attack the hitters the same way, and that's a good job by the catcher to do that. But at the same time, you, the pitcher, has the ball in your hand. He has to execute those pitches like we talked about. You're leaving the ball in the middle of the plate, you're going to get into trouble.
Sandoval. Martin wants that fastball down and away, and that's delivered. Sandoval singled on a high changeup in the 4th. He took it to left field. They have pitched him differently in both of his 2 at-bats. First time up, they pitched him down. 2nd time, they pitched him up. Bust him inside. You've got to give a good hitter like Sandoval a lot of different looks.
This is a very difficult league. When you miss pitches against hitters like this, they are going to get you. We've seen it with Blue Jays hitters as well. You have to execute the pitch.
And that's when those close pitches really become problematic. And Martin thought he had strike 2. This is when the count goes from 1-2 to 2-1. Now it's 3-1. Hutchinson has passed the 100 pitch mark. First time he's gone over 100. He threw exactly 100 in his 8-inning effort against Baltimore 3 starts ago. That's all the way back to the screen. That'll load the bases. Now this is a real problem area for John Gibbons. He just went out to the mound and told Hutchinson. You see how Hutchinson look into the dugout, and Gibbons, he's trying to build a pitcher here. He's got to be patient and let him work his way out of it. Of course, the game is on the line. The batter at the plate, Mike Napoli, represents the tying run.
You have to applaud Gibbons for what he's doing. He is trying. I think what you said, Buck, it's most important. It's not just today that he's coaching right now. He's coaching a young man that he knows is going to be a part of this rotation for a long time. But it's time for Hutchinson at the tender young age at 24 to figure this out right now and get out of it.
Napoli takes a first pitch strike. Napoli is dangerous with the bases loaded. He has 6 career grand slams. Gibbons would love for Hutchinson to complete 5 so he can qualify for the win, and Russell Martin's not leaving anything to chance.
And I think that's why for Hutchins, he's had those troubles in the 5th where he's had the game in hand and he's let those wins slip away. Another one of those would just again crush his confidence, and that's what exactly Gibbons is trying to do. If he can get him through 5 and get him that win, that's a confidence swing way the other way, and that's where he wants this young pitcher to be.
Napoli doubled his last time up. He hit an opposite field double down into the corner in right. Way outside. We mentioned before Hutchinson has not completed 5 innings in 4 of his last 5 starts.
This is what happens with Hutch too. He has a little trouble with those mechanics, and you can see when he's pulling those balls glove side, he's becoming a little more side to side again instead of getting on top and working downhill towards Russell Martin's mitt.
1-1 pitch to Napoli. Right on the corner.
We said it, when he's good, he's very good. He just really has battled consistency. Up over 100 pitches here in the 5th inning. It's just not very efficient.
Fly ball. This should end the inning. Colabello, the right fielder, makes the catch. The Red Sox can't come up with a big hit. They strand the bases loaded. They have left 8 on through 5 innings. Hutchinson leaves with the lead.
o'clock Eastern, noon Pacific on Sportsnet 360. Buck?
Thank you, very great hockey action as the CHL playoffs underway. Boy, the Blue Jays, they have done a great job of pitching out of jams. Drew Hutchinson might be done today, but he leaves allowing 1 run on 7 hits. Walked a batter. Look at Burley. He's giving it to him. Boy, way to go. You finished 5 innings. I tell you, that's good-natured ribbon right there. And Mark Burley coming over to help Hutchinson relax a little bit. He's in line for the win. A high fly ball to left field. Hanley Ramirez moving over there and makes the catch as Kevin Pillar is retired.
And that means so much to Drew Hutchinson when you have the veteran Burley coming over, having some fun with him. Can ease a little bit of the stress. Look, now he's going to sit down with them, and he'll eventually probably get to a serious conversation about how he pitched today, what he did in certain situations. But that's a class act veteran right there, and good key piece of this rotation.
Well, what you'll get from a veteran like that is he'll sit over with Hutchinson and say, hey, I knew you could pitch 5 innings. I was counting on you today. That's good stuff. Michael Saunders goes after that sinking fastball away and grounds out to shortstop. Boy, what a big home run Encarnacion hit in the 4th. A 3-run home run gave Hutchinson a cushion. And Edwin's first home run since the 21st of April. Couldn't have come at a better time for the Blue Jays.
Well, we were talking about Joe Kelly really in and out of trouble, but the Blue Jays were not able to capitalize. Yesterday they were able to tack on a couple of runs in the 6th to make it a 4-0 ball game. Today it's Edwin's 3-run homer that's padded that lead to 5-0. Huge at a point where you're continuing to try to run away.
Well, the Blue Jays starters getting to a point where we expected them to pitch earlier in the season. Again, this start today, a starter goes at least 5 innings and leaves with the lead.
Well, the fortunes of this rotation had to change, and R.A. Dickey started that coming home from this road trip. Tough road trip, too, coming home from Cleveland, but he started against the Yankees. Burley, a well-pitched game, despite only going 5 innings.
And John Gibbons done a nice job of managing the starting staff, making sure that he builds up their confidence, gets them a win here and there. He did it with Hutchinson, and he went to the mound to say, hey, man, this is your inning. Let's close it out. Dickey got it started with a good start his first time out. He'll go tomorrow. But that's what you have, and that's how you put win streaks together. Winning streaks begin and end with your starting pitching. I don't care how good your offense is. The starters have to set the tone for a ball game, and then the hitters will score how many ever runs you need.
And it's great to see that tone set by the veterans, Dickey and Burley. Sanchez followed up last night. What do you like to see at Hutchinson today? Now you like to see the young kids have a little healthy competition and challenge one another.
Kelly asking for a new pitch from Swihart. The quarter. Kelly gets out of it. He retires the side in order for the second time this afternoon. We'll go to the 6th, and here comes the Home Hardware Cleanup Crew, brought to you by Natura. Home Hardware's exclusive line of safe, environmentally friendly cleaning products.
is back, and it's presented by TD. Sunday, May 24th, the Blue Jays host the Mariners at 107. The first 20,000 fans receive a Blue Jays trucker hat. Special appearances from Chad Brownlee and Gord Bamford. Go to BlueJays.com for tickets. Buck, I will wear my trucker hat if they give me one.
Oh, Barry, they're going to give you one. You're the man. You got to have one of those hats. Pretty good looking hat, and that'll be on Country Day, so make sure you get your tickets for that. New pitcher into the ball game is the right-hander Liam Hendricks.
Hendricks has pitched in 9 games, 4.5 ERA. He's pitched 10 innings, only walked 2. He struck out 11. All 11 of those strikeouts have come over his last 9 innings of relief work.
Hendricks got off to a great start. He began the season with 6 scoreless innings of relief. Here he throws the first pitch by Alan Craig. 7-8-9 for the Red Sox, and boy, have the Blue Jays dodged a bullet here all afternoon. Boston has stranded 8. They're 1 for 7 with runners in scoring position. But the Blue Jays have a 5-1 lead despite the fact they've been out hit 7-3. Point down and away. That's the same pitch that Kelly used to strike out Colabello in the bottom of the inning. Drew Hutchinson in line for his 3rd win of the season. He hasn't lost a game through 106 pitches. 5 innings, 7 hits, but he pitched out of jams all afternoon. The Red Sox stranded base runners in 4 of the 5 innings Hutchinson pitched.
Well, he's not going to be happy with the 106 pitches and 5 innings of work, but he'll be glad to get through these 5 innings, much like Burley's start against the Yankees. 5 innings, just the 1 run. At least he kept his team in the ball game. They're going to hand it over to a well-rested bullpen.
Lance Barksdale said that Bogarts went around. He's behind 0-2.
Hendricks throws all 4 pitches. That fastball will be up around 93, 94. Curveball, slider, and changeup.
Ground ball up the middle. Goins near second. Throws on the money. 2 down. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. He's got an update for us. Interesting series, a 4-game series. The Tigers have won the first 2 games of this series. There's a first pitch swing from Blake Swihart. Fly ball to Pillard. Quick inning for Hendricks. Just 8 pitches. He retires the side in the order in the 6th.
So I figured I may as well come and see what the big deal is all about. These are fantastic. I want to thank Ryan for letting me steal his seat, and I may end up watching the rest of the game here. But guests of TD are here, including myself. And now let's take a look at the Jays Community Care Corner, and we have special guests from Emily's house. Guys, I'm going to sit here for just a little bit. This is just too comfy.
Well, you're working so hard, Mary. I think you should stay there for the whole inning. Brian Goins bounces back to the pitcher. Kelly will flip to Napoli. One pitch, one out here in the bottom of the sixth. You know, Kelly is over 100 pitches as he really battled his control, but he's had a couple of good innings. He had a 6-pitch third inning. He retired to side in order in the third. Also retired to side in order in the fifth. Ironically, the same 3 batters. Back to the top of the order. Devin Travis has been on base twice. He walked and he reached on interference by the pitcher Joe Kelly. Now I got a question for Mr. Statsman Scott Carson. Kelly is charged with an error on that interference. Does it cost Travis an at bat? And the answer from Mr. Scott Carson is no, because it's interference. So you can't penalize the batter and charge him an at bat in that situation. Thank you very much. You are the king of all stats, of course. 1-2 to Devin Travis. Drives this ball to center, but right at Mookie Betts.
The 2015 Honda CR-V is the official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays and Motor Trend's 2015 Sport Utility of the Year.
It's a beautiful afternoon here at Rogers Center, and Joe and I are along with our pal Scott Carson, the stats man that keeps me straight most of the time. Blue Jays enjoying a 5-1 lead as they bat in the sixth. Josh Donaldson with 2 more hits this afternoon. So breaking ball, he's out in front. Donaldson is in the top 10 in home batting average. When you look at his average coming into this game, 386, it will go up from that. It's interesting, we talk about Oakland and what a difficult ballpark it is to hit in. Josh Reddick leads home batting average at 478. Do or die play for Xander Bogart. He couldn't make it. That should be an infield hit for Donaldson, his 3rd hit of the afternoon.
Well, Xander Bogaerts only had 1 play. Donaldson knows as soon as he chops this ball, he's got a shot, so you're hustling down the line. Bogaerts did everything he could, barehanding it with the off-balance throw. He just took Napoli up that first base line a hair.
So Joe Kelly is out of the game. Matt Barnes will come in. He has just been added to this bullpen. He'll come in to face Bautista. Welcome to Toronto. in his second stint with the Red Sox. He was up late in April for just one game. He pitched in one game and then went back down. He was a scheduled starter Thursday in AAA. They bumped him from his start, pitched him on Wednesday night in relief, and here he is on Saturday afternoon at Rogers Center.
Made his major league debut with the Red Sox last September after being called up. Good power arm, 94, curveball changeup.
First pitch strike to Jose Bautista.
It was a laborious afternoon for Joe Kelly.
Sure was, and he was able to hang in there until Edwin Encarnacion hit the 3-run home run in the fourth. At that point, it was a 2-0 game. That ball gets away from Swihart, and Donaldson will move into scoring position for Bautista.
There's that big curveball from Barnes. High-powered fastball, good breaking ball over the top of this one. He really spiked, and Swihart again just not able to get over there as a catcher. You want to be able to get to your knees and try to create an angle with your upper body. Swihart just not able to get there in time.
Yeah, he was late on that move to his right. Ball on a strike, Bautista with an RBI opportunity.
Barnes touching 96 with 2 of his fastballs here early.
Bautista gets to that fastball and pulls it foul. Barnes was a #1 pick of the Red Sox in the first round of 2011. 19th player picked overall. Pretty high prospect. He pitched at University of Connecticut, which is more well known for basketball than it is for baseball, but first round pick out of UConn, pretty impressive. He's been a starter throughout his career. Last year he worked in 5 games with the Red Sox, all out of the bullpen. Bautista drives that hanger into center. Donaldson's going to come in to score. And that's how RBI guys get it done. You make a mistake, they're going to make you pay. Bautista with his 18th ribby of the season.
Barnes went back to the curveball here, and they did throw a hanger. Watch this, how it did not come down much at all. That's on a tee for Jose. Puts a good swing on it. Drives home the Blue Jays' 6th run. You just can't make mistakes to these types of hitters.
Bautista, his production is consistent. Encarnacion with one swing of the bat gave the Blue Jays a cushion. 3-run homer in the 4th.
That a lot of times is the difference between AAA and the major leagues. That pitch right there, you may get away with. A AAA hitter may pop that up. Not too often that's going to happen up here.
98. Another powerful right-handed arm for Boston. Owen-Chu strokes it into right. Bautista will have to stop at second. The drive of the game is presented by the 2015 Honda CR-V, Motor Trend's 2015 Sport Utility of the Year.
Well, Edwin Encarnacion really padded this Blue Jays lead with his 5th home run of the season back in the 4th inning. Just put the Jays up 5-0. And he hit a hanger from Joe Kelly. Kelly left that ball up in the zone. Edwin deposited it to the left field seats.
Perfect day for Encarnacion. He's been on base all 4 times with a pair of walks, a home run, and a single. Bautista and Encarnacion have been on base all day long. They've only been retired once. They've been on base 7 of the 8 plate appearances. They have walked 4 times and driven in 4 runs. Russell Martin pops it up on the infield. Pedroia, the second baseman, takes charge, makes the catch. The inning is over. But the Blue Jays add a run in the bottom of the 6th. They have stretched their lead to 6-1 as we head to the 7th.
Watch the Blue Jays anytime, anywhere. Visit Sportsnet in the App Store to download. Fuck, they kicked me out of those chairs. I'm back in my regular spot, unfortunately.
Well, unfortunately, but you got a little break. I know you've been hustling around all over this ballpark to give us the latest upgrades. Ezequiel Carrera comes into the ball game, and he takes over defensively in right field for Chris Colabello. Been a good afternoon for the Blue Jays offensively. They've made the most out of their 6 hits. They've scored 6 runs. The big blow was the 3-run home run by Edwin Encarnacion in the 4th. Good crowd on hand, 42,917. That's the 3rd largest crowd of the season for the Blue Jays. Promises to be another good crowd on Mother's Day tomorrow. So come on out, you're missing all the fun. This is Mookie Betts. He's gone 2 for 3 today. Good looking young player. Got off to a bit of a slow start, but boy, he's picked it up lately. He has extended his personal hit streak to 7 straight. 7-game hit streak is the longest of his young career. He's also hit in 8 straight games against the Blue Jays.
Exciting young player. This is one of the names we had heard back in spring training. We were talking about the Cole Hamels availability and the Red Sox looking into that. And they were talking names like Bogarts, Betts, and I think the Red Sox are saying thanks but no thanks.
They also mentioned Blake Swihart, their young catcher. That's a little too rich. Plus, we have seen National League pitchers come into the American League East and not fare so well. So I think the Red Sox are wise in keeping their position players. Bouncing ball. Encarnacion plays the hop, throws to Hendricks. Betts is retired. Liam Hendricks, 4 straight retired since coming into the game in relief of Drew Hutchinson. Blue Jay bullpen is in pretty good shape given the fact that they've had a couple of long starts recently. Aaron Sanchez went into the 8th in his start last night. R.A. Dickey went 8 here on Monday.
Bullpen coach Dane Johnson manning the phones down there, and usually see this in the second half of the ball games. Lots going on.
Pedroia pulls the ball to the shortstop. Goins throws him out.
The 2015 Honda CR-V is the official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays and Motor Trend's 2015 Sport Utility of the Year.
There are actually leaves on the trees beginning to show here in Toronto. Ortiz gets jammed, pops it up. Foul territory. Donaldson is there. Liam Hendricks retiring all 6 he's faced in this ballgame.
You get a chance to win a trip to New York City for you and a guest to watch the Blue Jays take on the Yankees. Prize includes round-trip accommodations, spending money, and a VIP ballpark tour. Contest closes May 17th. Enter today at BlueJays.com. And of all the giveaways they have, Buck, this is definitely one of the good ones to see the Jays at Yankee Stadium.
Nothing quite like it. A trip to Yankee Stadium, the opportunity to go to the Big Apple and see a little bit of Manhattan. It's a great trip. This is popped up. Pilar goes after the first pitch. Sandoval calls for it and makes the catch. Matt Barnes came into the ball game in the 6th and gave up an RBI single to Jose Bautista, the first batter he faced.
Barnes had been averaging around 94 with that fastball in his call-up last season and again this year in 2 very short stints, but we've seen him get up to about 96 here today.
Michael Saunders takes that first pitch fastball.
Liam Hendricks really finding a home in this Blue Jays bullpen. Got a couple extra miles per hour on his fastball.
Yeah, he has been a starter, as we mentioned, and he was scheduled to start on Thursday for AAA Pawtucket. They knew they were going to call him up for this weekend series, so they moved him to Wednesday. Liam Hendricks had a good outing. He has gone 2 innings and retired all 6 he's faced. Looks like he's going to go back and start the 8th.
And that's what he can do. And Hendricks was a guy that was out of options coming out of spring training. The Blue Jays decided to keep him but put him in the bullpen so he can provide some length in that bullpen for John
But he's only thrown 16 pitches, so he can go right back out there. He is fresh.
One thing they noticed in spring training, coming out for shorter stints as a reliever, he was getting a couple extra clicks on those miles per hour. Now he's around 93, 94 instead of 90, 91 as his starter.
Barnes has got a good arm. Ezequiel Carrera entered the game as a defensive replacement for Chris Colabello. He is on deck. Gary Cederstrom, the home plate umpires, had a rough day. He got hit in the mask earlier in the game. Well, first of all, he's a big guy and he's a big target. You see, he doesn't have much protection as that catcher is down in that crouch, and Cederstrom took one off the left shoulder there.
Double whammy, off the shoulder, then the chin. Look, at least he's having fun with it. He's saying, what do I have to do to stay out of the way here?
You got to hide behind the catcher.
Get small.
Michael Saunders, we mentioned he missed the entire Yankees series. He played in Cleveland, but he was laboring. You could see that knee was bothering him, and he gave in to having his knee drained. He got a cortisone shot, says he feels much better.
I asked him about that. I said, looked like you were hobbling around in Cleveland on Sunday. He says, you mean you noticed? I said, oh yeah.
And you know, Joe, you've dealt with injuries in the past, and if you got something nagging, it just is a distraction first and foremost, and you expect to have a solid foundation from which to hit on, and it's tough.
You need your bottom half to hit. This whole season could be a challenge for Michael Saunders after this knee surgery. That's your back leg. You're pushing off of that leg, really riding it and transferring that power from the backside into the front side. And with that rotation, it's going to be very difficult for Michael to really feel comfortable. I think that knee brace is a nice little security blanket for him, but always difficult to come back from surgery and from injury.
Tried to check his swing. Hits a little roller to Pedroia. 2 down. Well, the Blue Jays will wrap up their homestand tomorrow with a game against the Red Sox. It'll be R.A. Dickey against Clay Buchholz, and then they'll go on the road and go right back to Baltimore. That'll be the first series in Baltimore after they had to postpone the game against the White Sox. So the Blue Jays and Orioles will play 3 before the Jays go down to Houston and play the front-running Houston Astros for a 4-game series. Houston leads the American League West. John Gibbons, a native of Texas, has a chance to see his family once he gets to Houston. He's looking forward to that. Carrera goes after that first pitch, but hooks it into the seats.
Looking forward to see that Astros team. This is a team that was really building for the future, maybe a couple years down the road, but they're starting to win now and maybe changing their tune a little bit.
Yeah, they have really done a good job, and they were shut out last night by Jared Weaver, who shut out the Astros, and they're still clinging to a 5-game lead over the West. Houston always has that all-star second baseman who is one of the best players in the game, in Jose Altuve, currently 3rd in the American League in hitting. Altuve is tied with Ian Kinsler for the most multi-hit games in baseball. Josh Donaldson has tied those two now. They all have 14 multi-hit games, with Donaldson collecting 3 more hits today. Altuve leads the American League with 44 hits. Won a batting title last year.
Always a tough at bat against Altuve.
1-2, 2 outs. No swing, says Sam Holbrook down at third base. We're in the bottom of the 7th inning. The Blue Jays jumped out to a 1-0 lead in the first, added 1 in the second, 3 more in the fourth, and a single run in the 6th. They lead it 6-1. This is trouble. A little looper into right. That's going to drop. Alan Craig was over in the alley. Carrera will post into second with a double. For Carrera, that's his first double of the season. His 7th hit.
That curveball from Barnes again. This one stayed on the plate. Ezekiel Carrera was able to stay on that ball well enough. Looked like he got a little bit towards the end of the bat, but of course with his speed, cruises into second base.
Ryan Goins, the number 9 hitter, has gone 0 for 3 to this point. Blue Jays are 3-1 on this 6-game homestand. They are 8-6 here at Rogers Center for the season. They're 2 games under 500 on the road at 7-9, and that's how they've ended up with a 15-15 record. Boy, isn't it amazing, Joe, how many good arms you see coming out of bullpens this day and age?
It seems like everybody's 96, 97 miles per hour. It's like you give if your starters can give you 5, if they give you 6, that's a great day if you've got these arms coming out of the bullpen.
Every fastball is up over 95.
It's young pitchers like this that, of course, now to use that velocity and learn how to pitch. You saw the Royals do that very successfully last October with that threesome closing out ball games.
Goins will walk. We'll be right back here at Rogers Center tomorrow afternoon. Another 1 o'clock start. We mentioned Clay Buchholz will go to the mound for the Red Sox. Will be opposed by R.A. Dickey. It all starts at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time. That's the pregame show with Jamie Campbell and Greg Song. We'll follow them 30 minutes later, top of the hour. Dickey trying to close out a very good homestand before we head out on the road for 7 games. Devin Travis lined out in the 6th. Travis has been in a rough stretch lately. His average down to 278. He was the American League Rookie of the Month in April. He is just 4 for 27 in the month of May. The league has made their adjustment. Now it's up to Travis to counteract that.
And I think the adjustment the league has made, we've seen an awful lot of off-speed pitches away to Devin. He's going to have to be able to lay off the ones out of the zone and find a way to square up the ones in the zone. We talked to him about that the other day. He's starting to see the breaking pitches and he understands what teams are trying to do against him, but it's another thing to make that adjustment now as a hitter and put a good swing on pitches. So this is a very delicate time here early in his career where he has to make that adjustment to big league pitching. Can certainly see why the Red Sox like this arm in Matt Barnes. Seen a lot of 96s. We've seen a lot of very good curveballs as well.
There's a base hit for Travis. Carrera is around third. Here's the throw to the plate. It's late. Devin Travis drives in a run. That'll get him back on track.
That's exactly why this game is so difficult. We're talking about the arm of Matt Barnes. Throws some good curveballs, but he's hung a couple and he's been getting burned on each one. This time Devin Travis does hit the hanger instead of chasing. Gets one out over the plate and lines it right back up the middle.
That snaps an 0 for 13 for Devin Travis, and that'll bring a smile to his face. He stays back, mows stride, hits the breaking ball into center, and Carrera, who doubled, comes around to score the 7th Blue Jays run.
Again, Luis Rivera just waving Blue Jays runners home. They have been running on this Red Sox outfield for 2 days now.
The throw went to the plate, and Owens goes first to third. Tim Leeper reminding Travis of all the situations. Now this is Josh Donaldson, who's had a 3-hit game. The Blue Jays, with their 7 runs now, have scored 7 runs in a game, more than any club in baseball, 11 times. It's a potent offense, that's for sure. And a good sign for the Blue Jays. Bautista and Encarnacion have been on base all day long.
If they start pitching, this team has a chance. And that's what we talked about coming out of spring training. We figured this offense was going to score runs again, especially with the addition of Donaldson.
Well, the Blue Jays don't have to pitch to a 3.5 earned run average. They got to pitch to a 4.5. And they do that, they're going to win a lot of games.
You got a chance. If you can have an offense that's tops in the league, as long as your pitching is keeping you in ball games, you're good enough. You don't have to be the top few in the league.
Donaldson's feeling pretty good now. He's on just about everything he swings at.
You can see the swings that he's taken. You talk about being on. It's almost like he's looking for stuff and he's getting it, putting good swings on it. Just looking very confident in the batter's box. That's what happens when a hitter feels it and has that timing and that rhythm in their approach. Very good feeling, especially for a guy that can do damage like Josh.
That's a changeup, and he loses the grip on the bat. He strikes out. That ends the inning, but the Blue Jays had another run in the 7th. We'll go to the 8th. Blue Jays 7-1 over the Red Sox.
Now is Miguel Castro, who was sent down to AAA Buffalo last week. While he's been there, the plan is to have him work as a starter. He had one start, it did not go very well. 1 inning, he gave up 5 hits and a couple of earned runs. John Gibbons, however, said today that when he does return to the Toronto Blue Jays, it will not be as a starter. He will be pitching out of the bullpen. The reason they are using him as a starter in Buffalo is they want him to get regular work, pitch every 5 days, know when his bullpens are, just so he has an idea of when he's going. But guys, it brings up the great question, where do we see Miguel Castro down the line with this Blue Jays team, as a starter or as a reliever?
Well, I think in the short term it's going to be as a reliever. I think you want to get him back up here and build his confidence up and let him recognize that he can have success here. And maybe down the road after that, then you'd say, okay, let's stretch him out now and see what we have. Can he be a 3-pitch pitcher that can be a starter?
Yeah, and I think with that electric arm, the high velocity, he's got a good slider, good changeup, and with those 3 pitches, you almost think of like an Aaron Sanchez. I think those types of pitchers are better suited as starters, or at least try them that way. But when the Blue Jays are in a position that they are right now, and it's about winning right now, I think you leave them in the bullpen, and maybe next year, maybe the year after, there may come a time that Castro can start again.
Liam Hendricks back out for his 3rd inning of relief. He starts the 8th inning facing Hanley Ramirez. Ball and a strike to Ramirez. Bouncing ball. Big hop for the second baseman. 1 down. You wonder about length of appearances for Hendricks. This isn't even close to his longest relief appearance. He threw 6 innings of relief while pitching for the Minnesota Twins back in September 2013. So he has certainly been efficient. He's only thrown 19 pitches to record 7 outs.
This could be as good as we've seen him. He's really just cruising through this Red Sox lineup right now.
He seems to have really taken to pitching out of the bullpen. As you mentioned, he's got a little bit more velocity on his fastball there. Sandoval hits the third base bag. Saunders plays it in quickly and keeps Sandoval at first. That's his 2nd hit for Sandoval. He's been on base all 4 times this afternoon.
Ball away again. Pablo's actually fooled on the pitch. He kind of just slaps it that way right off the third base bag. Fair ball call by Sam Holbrook down there at third. And the benefit that Hendricks has is being a former starter. As I said, he's got the 4 pitches. When you come out of the bullpen and you know you're going to go a few innings, you can actually utilize all 4. Coming in just for an inning, you're probably only going to throw a couple of them.
Ball down and into Mike Napoli. Napoli has a double in 3 at bats today. Hendricks working in his 3rd inning of relief. Roberto Osuna's had some time off. He's well rested. He's starting to loosen up. Boy, it's been a real struggle for Napoli. He has not been squaring up that fastball. He's always been one of the better fastball hitters in the league.
Not only that, he actually seems late. We saw him against Hutchinson earlier in the ball game. Made the same comment. That's a fastball right there from Hendricks. With that swing, it's almost like he's seeing 98, and it's only in that 93, 94 range. Nice block by Russell there, getting down there, keeping that runner at first base, keeping that double play in order for Hendricks. Russell has done a great job back there with this pitching staff, especially through the early season struggles. A lot of balls in the dirt, a lot of fastballs way out of the zone. He's had some busy nights back there.
Blue Jays are trying to make it 3 in a row. They have won back-to-back games for the first time since late April, 21st through 24th, against the Orioles. 3-2 to Napoli. But it all goes back to the starting pitching. We mentioned that at the top of the show. Drew Hutchinson threw a lot of pitches through 5 innings, but he left with the lead. Blue Jays have added to that lead. He left, it was 5-1. It is now 7-1 Jays. Napoli got a piece of it.
For Hutchinson, I think it's baby steps. Today was really a good day for Drew. It's not a great day by any means, throwing over 100 pitches in 5 innings. He's not going to be happy with that, but to get through that 5th inning will be a plus for him. Great to see John Gibbons give him that opportunity today.
Strikes out. Second strikeout for Hendricks.
Good fastball here by Hendricks again, and I think that's the game plan, is to stay hard with Napoli. That ball's by him. Good location out over the plate. Elevated just a bit. He just can't get to that pitch.
Craig. Craig has gone 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts. His average is 137. Hendricks can empty the tank right here. This will probably be his last inning of work. A ball and 2 strikes. Blue Jays haven't been over 500 since April 24th. They were 9-8 at that time. They're currently 15-15. Craig strikes out. A couple of strikeouts in the inning for Hendricks. Good 3-inning outing for Liam Hendricks. The Blue Jays lead at 7-1. Now it's time for a Blue Jays Central update. Here's Jamie Campbell and Greg Zone. Bats, 7 hits. They've walked 5 times, and this team is the most prolific offensive team in baseball. And Edwin Encarnacion and Jose Bautista haven't really hit their stride yet. I mean, there's a lot more to come offensively with this ball club.
This team's leading baseball in scoring runs already without 2 of their big boppers. Now, Josh Donaldson was a tremendous addition. Russell Martin has been as hot as anyone. But once these 2 guys start heating up, the American League's going to know about it, and I think it's slowly happening.
It sure is, and they have been on base 7 of the 8 times they've come to the plate today. Yeah, that's a great sign for the Blue Jays. Jose had an RBI single his last time up. Tommy Lane, the new pitcher in for the Red Sox, throws one and makes him move his feet. Down and in. It's a breaking ball. He just pulled well off the plate. Bautista had to dive to get out of the way.
Lane has pitched in 7 games to a 4.05 ERA. Opponents hitting a combined .250 against him. Second stint with the Red Sox this year.
This is popped up behind home plate. Swihart will get back to the screen, and it's over the screen out of play. Lane signed with the Red Sox as a minor league free agent. He has some time in the big leagues with San Diego. Got into 30 games last year with the Red Sox.
Lane's fastball will be around 90 miles per hour. He's got a cutter and a curveball to go with it. So he goes to here up 1-2, trying to get these signs right with his catcher Blake Swihart.
2 balls and 2 strikes to Jose Bautista, leading off the 8th. It'll be Encarnacion and Martin to follow. Baltimore beats the Yankees 6-2 in New York. Kansas City over the Tigers. Blue Jays could get within 3 games of the Yankees with a win. Big hop for the shortstop, Bogarts. Bautista's retired. Big blow in this game this afternoon was that 3-run home run by Encarnacion in the 4th. It was a 2-0 game. Joe Kelly had kind of settled down a bit, and Encarnacion took him deep. Edwin's been on base all 4 times he's come to the plate today. In that Baltimore game, Wei-Yin Chen picks up his first win. Jimmy Paredes has 3 hits, hitting .347.
With a homer. He's on fire.
He's got 5 home runs already this season.
Nice pickup by the Orioles last season, that stretch run.
Again, we see the young catcher going out to the mound to get pitch selection sorted out.
Do you think hitters like Edwin strike fear into pitchers, or catchers calling a ball game? They want to make sure they've got this right. They know what he's already done today to a hang and break a ball from Joe Kelly.
And he's starting to get locked in now. He's been on base 4 times, as we mentioned. And that breaking ball started well off the plate and breaks over the outside half. 2 down. Ryan Tepera is throwing along with Roberto Osuna. Tepera just called up. He has not appeared in a game yet. I'm sure he's just throwing as he has joined the Blue Jays bullpen. Osuna looks like he's cranking it up to come in the game. It's an interesting matchup tomorrow. Russell Martin has 5 hits off Clay Buchholz, tomorrow's Red Sox starter. 4 of them have been home runs. But R.A. Dickey's starting. Josh Torrey has been catching Dickey lately. Be an interesting call for John Gibbons. Clay Buchholz has pitched very well in this ballpark. He has an 8-3 record in the ballpark. Tolle has caught Dickey since his recall from the minor leagues, but Martin has been very good against Clay Buchholz. That'll be an interesting decision for John Gibbons.
What do you do, Skipper?
Well, I tell you, he's thinking about sweeping the series and looking at the matchups, and Russell is hot against everybody right now, so the tendency, I would think, would be to put him in that game against Buchholz, who he has worn out in the past, given the fact that the Blue Jays have not fared well against Buchholz playing here at Rogers Center. Ground ball up the middle. Bogaerts dives and not going to have a play. Russell Martin gets a base hit. He had a sacrifice fly in the first. He drove in the first run of the ball game. Now he has an infield hit.
And that's where the issue with Jose Bautista continues to hamper John Gibbons and what he's trying to do. Good piece of hitting right here by Martin. So he's in the middle of the field. Bogaerts does everything he can, just not come to his feet to make a play.
Yeah, that's an interesting point, Joe, because if Bautista were healthy and he could play in right, then Russell could DH, Tolle could catch, Edwin could play at first, and you have a terrific lineup against Buchholz. But that's why John gets paid the big bucks to make those tough decisions.
We get to just talk about it.
Kevin Pillar, 0 for 3 so far this afternoon. The Blue Jays have 9 hits. The Red Sox have 8 hits. Bouncing ball, big hop for Sandoval. He'll go to second. That'll end the bottom of the 8th. We'll go to the 9th. The Blue Jays carry a 7-1 lead into the 9th.
Race. It is the Grand Prix of Indianapolis that is on now on Sportsnet 1, and tonight on CBC, Liam Hendriks' favorite team, the Montreal Canadiens, trying to stay alive as they host the Tampa Bay Lightning. That's on CBC at 7 o'clock Eastern, 4 o'clock Pacific.
Barry, you just got to wonder whether or not Tampa Bay got some resurgence after they had a big game in Game 4. Roberto Osuna will make his 12th appearance, and what an effort by Liam Hendriks. He allowed just 1 hit in 3 innings of relief. He had 3 strikeouts.
Osuna has been outstanding. 1.17 ERA, 5 walks and 15 strikeouts in his 15 1/3 innings of work.
Justin Smoak takes over at first base defensively. Top of the 9th. 8-9-1 for Boston. Bogarts grounds to third. Donaldson throws him out.
Osuna's fastball will be in the mid-90s, slider and a changeup to go with it, but he has really showed a maturity for a 20-year-old young man. A lot of confidence on the mound.
This is the catcher, Blake Swihart. 0 for 3 so far this afternoon. Pulls it foul. The Blue Jays pitching has really turned the corner the last few games. This has been the 4th game in the last 5 where they have held the opponents to 1 run or less. And as we said earlier, that's how you put winning streaks together. Good starting pitching. It'll be R.A. Dickey tomorrow trying to continue the string, and he's the one that got it started. Swihart strikes out. Osuna retires the first 2 here in the top of the 9th.
Well, Dickey started it coming home. Marco Estrada mixed in that start against the Yankees, and then it was Mark Burley the next win. But Estrada filling in for Daniel Norris, who'd been sent down, and I think it's a matter of time to see what happens with Marco Estrada. I think a lot of it is going to depend on what happens with Daniel Norris at AAA. He is going to have to sort it out and be better, be a little more consistent before he makes it back up here.
It's all about adjustments, and it's really about depth. How much depth you have in your organization as far as pitching. Mookie Betts, center fielder, has gone 2 for 4. Boy, Osuna's got a good arm too.
It's so free and easy. It's loose. Lets it go. That's 96 with that pitch. He's been blessed with a good arm. He did have the Tommy John surgery, but he's come back and he looks as strong as ever.
42,917 here at Rogers Center. Third largest crowd of the season for the Blue Jays. And the Jays have responded accordingly. Boy, Mookie Betts has a quick bat, doesn't he?
Well, he gets to 97 right there, fouling it straight back, and that's why the Red Sox love this young man. He has got a bright, bright future. He's starting to heat up offensively for Boston.
Fly ball, deep center field. Pilar at the track, at the wall, makes the catch. The Blue Jays win it 2 in a row over the Red Sox. They win it, got off to a quick start. Drew Hutchinson improves to 3-0.
Good to see Drew get that win, and he needed that desperately to get through that 5th inning. It's been a struggle for him. It was a struggle today, but it's maybe a little baby step forward. That man right there really guided Hutchinson along, and it was Edwin's home run in the 4th inning that put the Blue Jays up 5-0 that really took the wind out of the sails of the Red Sox today.
Jose Bautista, Edwin Encarnacion were on base all afternoon. Edwin hit a big 3-run homer in the 4th. We'll be back at it for the series finale tomorrow. Stay tuned. Here's Blue Jays Central, Jamie Campbell and Greg Zong.